come from? Huh? Where did it come from?
Don't skip the best. Don't you listen to their lies. Let's hope folks haven't got a chance.
So I don't know anything about it.
Yes, we organize.
Tie into this.
Which side are you on?
I had a link. He sent me a
Which
link.
side are you on?
I don't know how, brother.
Which side are you on?
That's fine. I was watching.
Yeah. Thank you, Ed Green. Thank you for that rendition of Which Side Are You On? Happy May Day, sisters and brothers and siblings.
Happy May Day!
Happy May Day. From the hometown of the American labor movement, from where it all started at Haymarket Square 135 years ago. Now, at this time, let me ask Katie Jordan. Hey, Katie, where are you? Come on up, Katie.
For being able to gather here today. And let us bow our heads with thankful hearts. And God our Father, we come this morning not to ask for anything, but to thank you for the things you've already done. We know that we're here because you have conditioned us to come here and carry out the orders that you have put before us. And we come this morning thanking you particularly for the coalition of Black Trade Unions. That they have worked, Lord, have done your will. That you have called us all to work for the good of making a difference in this world. And we thank you for the strength that you have given us. We thank you for the leadership, Lord. And we know that you are all power, and we ask you to put the spirit of love in our hearts. And let us continue to take care of each other. So we all are able to carry out the will that you have for us. We all, Lord, were born with a purpose on this world. And you have shown us it is for us to come together and make a difference in the whole world. Not just for ourselves, Lord. And we thank you, we ask you to just help us to carry out the endeavor for which we are here today. And we ask you to bless the plaque that will be presented here in name of the things that the Coalition of Black Trade Unions have contributed. And we know that you are here with us. Lord, guide us. Guide us, and we ask you to continue to do the same thing that you have done with us, because you told us in your word, I will never leave you. And we come to say this morning, this afternoon, we have come too far to turn around. And we will not, Lord, and we thank you for giving us the gift of love this morning. And we thank you and we praise you, and let everyone say amen.
Amen. Thank you, Sister Jordan. Thank you for that benediction of bringing faith and labor and action together. And again, I'm Don Millar, Secretary Treasurer of the Chicago Federation of Labor. On behalf of President Bob Ryder, President of the CFL, the 300 local unions and affiliates that make up the CFL, and the 500,000 union members, working men and women across Chicago and Cook County that make up the labor movement here. Thank you and welcome to our celebration of May Day. May Day. That's the real Labor Day, right? May Day. That's the one in September. This is the real Labor Day. And so many amazing things happen in this city we call the hometown of the American labor movement, right?
Right!
From what happened here at the Haymarket to the Stockyard Gates to Pullman and to the Little Steel Strike. So much labor history has started here, began here. Policies that shape the world, shape our country, and shape our world. And that's so important why we celebrate today on May Day when so many people gathered here 135 years ago. And also today Illinois Labor History Society. Larry.
Larry.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. So good to see you again. This marks, and I have to do the math, from 2005 to the present, is that 16 years? I can't do it. Since we started this celebration here at Haymarket Square with the monument that was dedicated in 2004. In 1969, a group of very esteemed individuals, working class and intellectual and all kinds of folks who wanted to remember the Haymarket and what it really stood for, fought to get something present in a spot that was unmarked, even though it's one of the most important days in all world history. May 4th of 1886, when the tragedy took place that resulted in the conviction of 8 men, false convictions with no evidence, that they conspired to create violence and murder over simply fighting for the 8-hour day, the right to peaceably assemble, basic constitutional rights. And so, when eventually the statue was put here in 2004, the Illinois Labor History Society that was formed 30 years earlier said, let us celebrate every year on May Day and dedicate a plaque from around the world to this monument. In 2009, we have seen plaques dedicated to the base of this monument from Italy today, and they will be here next year in person, to Germany, New Zealand, Colombia, Japan, France, Sweden, the Philippines, the Chicago Federation of Labor, the AFL-CIO, New Zealand, Turkey, Mexico, Canada, and others. And so every year into perpetuity, there will be a plaque, and we must need a much larger monument and maybe a park so that we can continue to celebrate International Labor Solidarity, the holiday that's celebrated because of the events of Chicago in 1886, that's celebrated everywhere in the world. You would be marching somewhere in the world and have for 135 years. So today is very special, and we have this hybrid event where we're doing this Facebook Live, YouTube Live, but also good friends, good brothers and sisters who are in a moment to unveil a plaque, and then there will be a number of speeches thereafter. But I want to shout out to a couple of my comrades and sisters and brothers who have always inspired me. One who couldn't be here today, William Lucy, the great Bill Lucy from AFSCME, my union for many years. The only blood descendant of the martyrs that we know about. Martin Eby called me today. He's moved back to the Chicago area and wasn't feeling well. He is the great-grandson of Oscar Eby, the only man who didn't get tried, who got tried but wasn't sentenced to death, who was sentenced to 15 years in prison but was eventually pardoned by Governor Altgeld, and he sends his greeting. And Alderman Carlos Ramirez, I don't know if he is here, but he has a proclamation that I want to read to you. So, Carlos, can I read this? We just got this. I will summarize it. I won't read it in detail. But from the office of the mayor, this is a proclamation. Whereas the international labor community recognizes the 1st of May as International Workers' Day, often referred to as May Day. And this is the first time I'm seeing it, so I am not going to read every whereas. I'm going to finish here with whereas in 1889, an International Federation of Trade Unions and Socialist Groups designated May 1st as International Workers' Day to commemorate the events in Chicago and continue their quest for a more reasonable workday And the first day of each May of each year, millions of workers around the world take to the streets to show their continued commitment to economic justice and workers' rights. And whereas May 1st, 2021 will mark the 135th anniversary of the first May Day March in Chicago, now therefore I, Lori Lightfoot, Mayor of the City of Chicago, do hereby proclaim May 1st, 2021 to be May Day in Chicago in recognition of all workers and labor organizations across the country and around the world. So, we now have a conversation, and every year is another step to when we can eventually have May Day as the Labor Day here in the United States, starting here in Chicago. And so, having said that, at this time, I would like to bring up the national president of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, Terry Melvin, and we are going to walk over to the side to unveil the new plaque for this year, and then there will be speeches following. So we're going to take a moment here, if the camera can follow, and come around right over here.
All right. All right. Okay. So close. Sir, pardon me. Well, back to the podium.
Take some pictures.
Pictures.
Always got to add a little color to the situation. Rainey's not in there. Congratulations. I'm gonna make a pass.
Hey, folks, while everybody get hit by a car, let's go back there.
We are back to this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, CBTU. Thank you, CBTU. It's a beautiful plaque celebrating the 50th anniversary of their founding. I guess there's some folks still taking pictures, but we wait for folks to get back. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Sister Rose Daly, Vice President CFL and AFSCME. Rose.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. It's great to see all of you here. Some of you I haven't seen in over a year. Some of you I haven't seen in many years. First, I'd like to thank the Chicago Federation of Faith. Okay. For their contribution of this beautiful plaque to be placed on the Haymarket statue on this May Day as part of CBTU's 50th year anniversary celebration. Thank you, President Bob Ryder, for all the support you've given us through the years. I'd like to thank Vice President Don Bernard, Keith Richardson, chairs of the CFL Civil Rights and Human Relations Committee, and CBTU's own Tish Taylor for all the hard work they did on the wording of this plaque and CBTU's history. Thank you to all of our CBTU family who are present, and for those who have traveled many miles to speak today. Our International President, Terry Melvin, our Chicago Chapter President, Mamie Pratt, our Regional Director, Fred Redmond, and I'd like to thank you all from my heart. And just a little reminder before I leave, for all you here who have not paid your 2021 membership, see Mamie Pratt, Chris Taylor, Pat Osman, all of the others. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you and have a blessed day.
At this time, where's Brother Mac Julian, CFL board member and President NALC Branch 11. Mac.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Power to the unions. Power to the unions. Mac Julian, President of the National Association of Letter Carriers, local branch number 11 right here in Chicago. Also, national board member, CBTU, member APRI, member of Coalition of Labor Union Women, board member of Chicago Federation of Labor. And I share all that because of the significance with the symbolism here today, the celebration of 50 years of CBTU. It was actually at a labor event that I met one of the founding fathers of CBTU, and that was our past president, Bob Simpson. It was there that he brought me in and gave me the vision of the greater labor movement and my involvement in beyond just postal workers, beyond just letter carriers. You know, it reminds me not only of all those martyrs who have preceded us, who paved the way, who we honor every day with our activism, with our presence today. You know, those martyrs who have gone before us. You know, I think of that saying, we don't die, we multiply. So it is true with the labor movement. They may be gone, but we have multiplied. And we continue to multiply. You know, it was in that encounter that not only I got involved, but I got other members to be involved from the NALC. And together we grow. So it is awesome today that we celebrate 50 years of CBTU, Coalition of Black Trade Unions. Power to the people, power to the unions.
Thank you, Mac. At this time, Greg Kelly, President, SEIU Healthcare. Greg. And also a CFL board member. Oh, hey, Greg, you know, today we had the 5K for May Day. Did you go run today?
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. I am so excited to be here. Much respect to my brother Melvin, Terrence Melvin, coming down and showing us respect by coming to Chicago. Again, my name is Greg Kelly, President of SEIU Healthcare, and it was, of course, an honor to be here. I also want to give a shout out to Local 1 of SEIU. They actually celebrated the 100th anniversary of Local 1, which is the 100th anniversary of SEIU just last week. So it's an historic moment for SEIU as well. And so we honor all of those who came before us, who allowed us to be here today. I couldn't be prouder of CBTU and the progress that it's made and the new leadership of CBTU, including my high school classmate, Mamie, who's doing an amazing job so far as president of the Chicago chapter. So I want to get out of the way, but I did want to offer a few words. We can't be in this place without recognizing Lucy Parsons.
Yeah.
And we heard a bit earlier about those who were executed for just standing up for their rights. Well, Lucy Parsons' husband, Albert Parsons, was one of those who was executed. And Lucy Parsons was a black woman married to him. And so I just wanted to offer a few words that she said not long after his execution. She said, society today is one of caste, and the proportion of those who break through the crust and rise to a higher grade is no greater than the proportion of black slaves who escaped to the freedom of the North. Individuality is dead in the great army of wage workers. They are but cogs in the machine. So many hours to sleep, so many hours to work, so many to eat, and on they march with military precision, from the cradle through a workaday world to the grave. What beauties of life do they enjoy? Instead of paternalism, we want fraternalism. Instead of nationalism, we want devotionalism, internationalism. Our religion is that of Tom Paine. That is to do good. Well, CBTU, you're doing good. CFL, you're doing good. I continue to be in awe of the work of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, at this time, I'd like to invite Sister Mamie Brand up here, President CBTU and UFCW 881. Mamie.
Good afternoon. I first want to say it is truly an honor to be here with all of you today on such an auspicious occasion. The Coalition of Black Trade Unionists is humbled to be in the company of you all. Can you all hear me now? Much better. Do I have to start all over?
Start over.
Anyway, the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists is very humbled to be accepting a plaque commemorating the 50 years of service of such a distinguished organization. Having good labor friends such as the CFL and the Illinois Labor History Society is what makes memories like this so memorable. Let's reflect on May 4th, 1886, where workers came together to give their lives on behalf of workers so that they may have an 8-hour workday and have equality in the workplace. So on this day, May 1st, 2021, which is known now as May Day, we want to acknowledge those who did give their lives so that we all could have a better life today. And in my closing, there are some individuals that I would like to thank. First off, I would like to thank our international CBTU president, Emeritus Dr. Bill Lucy. Our international president, Mary Melvin. Our Chicago chapter president, Emeritus Bob Simpson, who will be also proud today. I would like to thank President Bob Ryder, Secretary Treasurer Don Clark, CFL, President Larry Spiewak. I would like to thank the Chicago chapter, CBTU, for all your hard work. And for those who worked hard behind the scenes, a special thank you to Keith Richardson and Tish Taylor. And thank you to all of you for being here today.
Thank you, Sister Pratt. Next, I'd like to welcome Brother Fred Breitman, Steelworkers National Vice President. Brother.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Brother Richardson and members of the Illinois Labor Historical Society for putting on this event today. I want to thank our president, who we all are so very proud of. Baby, thank you for everything that you do. And all of the members of the Chicago chapter of CBTU, you have our deepest appreciation for all of the work that you do every day on behalf of working people. I also want to recognize the leader of our labor movement here in the city of Chicago, Bob Ryder, and Chicago Federation of Labor. Thank you, Bob. Bob has been consistent in his support of CBTU and all of the constituency groups. And Bob, we owe you gratitude and thanks for all of your hard work and dedication to our movement. You know, Chicago is a labor town.
Yeah.
And, you know, from what took place here in Haymarket to the stand that Steelworkers took during the Memorial Day massacre over in East Chicago, the fight here was for a 40-hour work week where our brothers and sisters took a stand and said going to work is not signing off on a life of involuntary servitude. They took a stand against child labor. In East Chicago, Steelworkers took a stand for collective bargaining. And I tell people all the time, the modern day labor movement was originated here in the great city of Chicago. It is very, very important that we pause on this May Day to give thanks to those warriors who went before us, who took a position on behalf of working families, particularly now when we're in the fight for the most progressive piece of labor reform legislation since the New Deal, the PRO Act. So as we fight to make the PRO Act a reality in this country, we first of all make labor reform work for working people. What we are doing here today is paying homage to those whose shoulders upon which we stand. And let us be as courageous as they were as we continue to fight for workers throughout this country, union, non-union, public sector, private sector, to make sure that workers are treated with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Brother Redmond. Our next speaker is my partner in the movement here in Chicago and my partner in crime. And he doesn't need any introduction, although it would be good to get his intro music. Bob Ryder.
Hey, get down and do that again.
My t-shirt was long enough for that. Listen, brothers and sisters, today's May Day.
Yeah.
What we do here today is not controversial. This statute is not controversial. This is settled history. There is one thing, though, that I do believe we need to acknowledge, lift up, and recognize is not settled. And that is whether a bomb was thrown here in Haymarket. I read too many history books, too many accounts about a bomb getting thrown. No one knows if there was a bomb. And I'll tell you what, I know, and it's been said here before, there was men who were put to death, wrongfully accused of standing here, and all they did was stand here and speak truth to power about the 8-hour workday. What I do know is that workers were murdered at the McCormick Reaper Works.
Yes.
Or assaulted throughout that whole weekend. Here's what I do know. I do know that when people talk about the anarchists that were in the streets in the 1800s, those were the labor activists. There was no division. The labor people and the anarchists were not separate people. They were the same people. And the type of anarchists that we're talking about in the 1880s are the same people that are in the labor movement fighting for justice now.
Yeah.
Now, people try to take words and change the meaning of words in order to scare people. And you know who knows that? People who work in the labor movement. Because there's been people who have power that have been trying to change the narrative of what we do, marginalize it, and push us aside. That doesn't happen in this town.
Right.
So I want to make sure that we're clear, and I'm going to move on to something else and take my tone down maybe just a little bit. But I want to be sure that when we relate what happened here in Haymarket, that we were a force for good. Not some of us, not the people standing over here, the people standing over here. There was one movement of workers that were fighting against the titans of industry of the city of Chicago, who put people up against us as we were trying to settle and resolve the next day's action, as we fought for fairness in the city. Now, we talk about things
of consequence that make this the hometown of the American labor movement. Don talked about the Pullman strike, the founding of the Union of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters by A. Phillip Randolph, another brother who is heralded as a leader in the labor movement. And believe you me when I tell you that A. Phillip Randolph was as radical as any of us. Woo! The little steel strikes. But I want to talk to you about something else that is of historical consequence that fits right in with all of those other events. And that is the founding of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists right here in the city of Chicago in 1972. And along with that, the founding of the Coalition of Labor Union Women right here in the city of Chicago. And let me be clear, it wasn't the Chicago chapter of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists or the Chicago chapter of CLU that were founded here in Chicago. It was the whole damn thing.
That's right.
And there's people who were here that were part of that. Now I want to thank my brother from Terry and I are in the same business. Aside from his job at CBTU, he's in the business of federating. And federating ain't easy, is it, Terry? I want to thank Terry for being here and for allowing us to put the CBTU plaque on the statue. I know you're going to come up here and say it's an honor for CBTU to be recognized. It's an honor for us, for you to allow us to put CBTU's name here. I want to thank all of my friends who are in the Chicago Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, Mamie Pratt, Keith Richardson. But I also want to thank my board members who support me so much in this work, like Greg Kelly and Mac Julian, guys that are my brothers every day, and whatever it is that we do. But I also want to make sure I lift up two people who are not just my moral support system and advisors when it comes to issues on race and social equity, but they're my advisors on everything having to do with my job in the labor movement. And you've heard her name before, the first vice president of the Chicago Federation of Labor from ASME, Sister Rose Daly. But there's one guy whose name you haven't heard yet today, and he's my brother. I will go down fighting with him. Sometimes there's been a couple times in the past he's come at me, but he's probably one of the most cherished friends I have in the labor movement. A person that I go to when I need backup, when I need advice and I need support. And I'd be an asshole if I didn't get up here and say how much I appreciate and love my brother Larry Thomas, who's standing right there for the Painters Union. So again, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Fred. Fred, thank you for all the support you give people like me and the cover that you give when we deal with stuff at the National AFL-CIO. Because make no mistake about it, I'm not a centrist labor leader. I'm here to raise a little bit of hell and cause some trouble. But I want to now hand the microphone back to Don to move the program along. But this is a great day. This is Workers' Labor Day, and thank you all so much for being here with me. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for those powerful, inspiring words. Thanks, Bob. At this time, I'd like to invite Terry Melvin. President. National President. Terry.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. Good afternoon. To God be the glory for the things that he has done.
Amen.
Let me say on behalf of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists, we are truly honored and humbled to be lifted up in the way that you are lifting us up on this day, putting this plaque on this hallowed ground that we stand on today. Let us recall that, let me take a moment of personal privilege and recognize two leaders that are not here with us today that have been on the battlefield here in Chicago for many, many years. Bob Simpson was the president here for over 40 years of the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists and served as our national secretary of CBTU. I know that he is looking down on us right now and smiling at what is going on today because of what we have done. And let me also recognize his right-hand man for so many years, Phillip Randolph, who is not here with us today, who stood by his side to make sure the work of this coalition was done each and every day. As I said, sisters and brothers, we are standing on hallowed ground on a very special day, May Day. And I just don't want us to look at May Day as just another day on the calendar. I want us to look at May Day as a day to rejuvenate ourselves, a day to get ourselves ready for the battles we have ahead of us. As we heard 50 years ago, black labor leaders came together in the city of Chicago. They came together because we were not pleased with what the labor movement was doing. We were not pleased with the stand that the labor movement took in the presidential election. We stood up for what was just and what was right. 5 great labor leaders headed by our President Emeritus, William Bill Lucy, all together put a call out for black labor to come together to talk about what we ought to do going forward. Out of that meeting came the coalition of black trade unionists. Today, we are known as a fiercely independent, not owned by anybody, labor organization that is standing up for the rights of black labor leaders across this country. We stand up for what is just. We stand up for what is right. Just as those that died here in the Haymarket riots, they thought many of us, they thought they could kill us, they thought they could bury us, but they did not know that what they were doing was burying seeds. And we were going to grow up, and we were going to grow out, and we were going to continue the fight that needs to be fought. So we thank you for being here today. But I want to let you know this is just the beginning of the battle. We have many battles to fight out there. Education for our children is a battle. Health care for all of our people is a battle. The ability to be in the electorate and to vote like everybody else is a battle. And we've got to stand together and we've got to stand strong. So I call on you today to look at today as the beginning of the rest of your work. Whatever you did on yesterday and last year is not enough. I believe in my soul that we were put into the pandemic for a specific reason. For us to rejuvenate, for us to get our act together, for us to get our priorities together. And right now, our priority labor, because I understand that black folks in labor make 40% more than black folks that are not in labor. Our priority is to get the PRO Act passed. We must do this collectively as sisters and brothers in this movement. It is time that we hold politicians that we elect accountable to do the things that they promised us they would do. We will get the PRO Act. We will do whatever we need to do. But I need each and every one of you, each and every one that's listening right now, to stand up like never before, to stand together and hold hands like never before, to let them know that we will not back down, we will not give up, we will keep marching, we will keep walking, we will keep running until we have victory.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's not over. This is our time. This is our season.
Yes.
Marching forever. It's the union. It's the union that makes us strong. God bless you. Thank you, Brother Melvin.
Woo! Woo!
Take out your cell phones. I want you to put this number in your cell phone. Everybody take out your cell phone. 866.
866.
866. Right. 832. 1560. Okay, just take a moment. Okay, it's 866-832-1560. Got it? 866-832-1560. Okay, I'd like you to call that number right now, and it'll patch you into the Senate. Leave a message. Tell them to pass the PRO Act. Right?
Pass the PRO Act.
Okay, everybody do it. Want to see cell phones out? All right, you guys broke the system. Save that number, and you're going to get through today. You can get through tomorrow, you can get through Monday. I know Senator Durbin has our back, but he needs to hear from us so he knows to fight like hell for the PRO Act.
All right.
So call that number again. By the way, share that with your family and your friends. Have them call it too. We need to pass the PRO Act, right?
Yes.
To protect the right to organize act. You know, May 8th, there's a lot of activities going on around the city in support of workers' rights. To the west of us, we had the immigration rights rally. Did they march past us? They were dead. I didn't notice because I haven't been here, but our sisters and brothers at Unite Here Local 1, they had an action earlier this afternoon, this morning. And this time, let me introduce one of our Unite Here Local 1 brothers, Johannes Gezu. Johannes.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, let me start by saying, those of you who lost someone, family, co-worker, anybody else, in this tough time, I'm trying to pass my deepest condolence on behalf of Local 1, because I know how you feel, because I know someone who lost his mind, I know someone who got divorced, I know someone who passed away this tough time. It was not easy for the working class. What happened when we got hit with this terrible virus? Local 1, the leadership just jump up, get organized, set up places, connected with all the unions around the city, set up a food court, a food pantry, helping those who need it. The second one, we set up a station for unemployment filing, which is the hardest thing to do for most of our co-workers. It's still the toughest thing to do. Number three, we fought hard next thing, the health insurance by 6 months, hard-fight was successful. The other one, we fought hard with our brothers and sisters and all unions to get COBRA for our co-workers for 6 months with no pay, with the help of our best friend, Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois. The last or the least, we assigned people to help those people who need a vaccine all over the city and finally close to our office. Those are a few among too many accomplishments done by Local 1. What's next? What's next is Corona is slowing down, as you know. The vaccine is already here. We are looking for our job, if the job is there. But one thing we know, and you know, it's not in our hand. The employer might play a dirty game and might use Corona as an excuse. They might shrink the labor force. They might twist it here and there to make excess profit. We're going to fight to the end. The last person to get his full-time job with a full benefit. And we hope all of you guys, like always, you will stand up next to us to achieve this one because the fight is not going to be easy. As you know, the hotel and restaurant industry is hit harder than any union, as you know, not comparing with anybody else, but feeling our feeling. Our members used to work 2 full-time jobs, sometimes 16 hours. Some people are family, surviving with 1 check. Not even half of the check they used to make from unemployment office. There's no way you can survive paying mortgage and sending your kids to school. But we survived so far. But our fight is not over because the vaccine, everything is not going to do it for us because as I said earlier, the employer is going to play a game. That game got to stop. At the end, me personally, as one person believing in the international movement, as a member of Local 1, first people in any place, at any time, across the country, across the continent, who lost their job, the same thing like us, those people who are in prison, on torture, for the same issue we're standing for. Today is May Day, a day, international day. It's not a local day, as all of us we agree. Therefore, there is no race, no gender, no flag, no country. May Day is the day of the working people. The people across the continent, give me an example, quick example. In Myanmar, how many people are in prison? Some are dead. Africa, Latin America, Asia, the problem is always the same. I'm extending my support and my good feeling as the international movement. I hope you will agree with me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Unionists. You know, actually, that gives me pause. So, past pandemic year has been hard on workers. Workers were the ones that bore the brunt. Essential workers went in while everybody stayed home. Workers paid the cost. Our brothers and sisters that unite here, Local 1, you know, they're still struggling. So many workers lost their jobs, right? And we're now starting to merge, right? We're now starting to get out. We lost so many people during the past year. So let's take a moment of silence just to remember the co-workers, your family and friends we lost in the past year. Thank you. And would that be, you know, I'd be remiss if we didn't remember Charlie Hayes, right? Charlie Hayes. So many great things. Helping found CBTU and also leading UFCW, right? So also want to remember him today as we add that blanket. Anyway, all these people who played a role in this. So with that, Karen Lewis. Karen Lewis. So there's so many great labor leaders labor activist.
Emma Goldman.
Emma Goldman. Thank you, sister. So, anyone else? Jackie Todd. Sam Copper. Anyway. Yeah. Now, this is where So with that, I'm gonna invite Ed Blaine back up here.
Yeah.
Play a little song. Ed, close us out. Gary? So, we always close.
The union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. 'Cause the union keeps us strong. Makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. 'Cause the union keeps us strong. Makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. 'Cause the union keeps us strong. We built these hard foundations till the sky was stone by stone. It is theirs not to save and but to master and to own. Makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. 'Cause the union keeps us strong. Greater hand is placed the power, greater than the Lord to go. Greater than the might of August, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring the birth of new up from the ashes of the old. The union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. 'Cause the union makes us strong.
Thank you, sisters and brothers. Happy May Day.